7 and 9 as he starts play tonight. Davey Lopes stands in. The ball game underway, and Lopes has a fly ball to left center field. Gene Richards and George Hendrick, and it'll be Richards in left center making the catch. So Lopes, first ball hitting, flies out to left. One away, and here's Bill Russell. Lopes started tonight hitting .281. Russell 5 points behind him at .276. The Dodgers have won 4 in a row and 8 of 9. They've just concluded their best homestand of the season. And 10.5 games ahead in the West with 26 to go. Fastball for a called strike to Russell. The infield now completely covered in the shadows. We have some sunlight from left center field over toward the right field foul line. But soon the sun will be gone. Russell swings and this is strike 2, 0-2. Right now it's tough on Dave Winfield, as it will be on Reggie Smith in right field in the lower half of the inning. 0-2, Ochinko to the windup, the next one to Russell. Breaking ball 1 inside. Ball 1, 1-2. Bob Ochinko, according to Padres coach Joey Malfitano, has looked fast to the last few games. And pitching coach Roger Craig says Ochinko is now one of the small number of pitchers in the league who can throw inside consistently. The 1-2 pitch on the inside corner, strike 3, and Russell takes it with a bat on his shoulder. So Ochinko did challenge Russell, and he gets him with a fastball. 2 away in the Dodger first inning. That'll bring on Reggie Smith. Reggie having a great year, batting .320, 27 home runs, and 77 runs batted in. Reggie grounds one down to third. Mike Ivey behind the bag to field him and throw him out. So Ochinko rolls for the Dodgers in the first inning in order. And at the end of a half an inning, the Dodgers nothing. And the Padres coming up to face Doug Rao for the first time.
Rookie right-hander Don Ossie fired a 3-hit shutout Monday. And Jim Rice cracked a 3-run home run streak in New York by defeating the Yankees 4-3 in the opener of a doubleheader.
The Dodgers went down in order against Bob Ochinko in the top of the first. And now Doug Rao will look at Gene Richards, Bill Allman, and Mike Ivey in the lower half of the inning. Doug Rao has won 3 and has not lost a ball game to San Diego this year. He's run his lifetime record against the Padres to 8-3. Rao beat them here in San Diego in April 7-6 in a game in which he went 7 innings. He beat them at Dodger Stadium in June 4-2, going 7 in that start. And then back here in San Diego just before the All-Star break, he went the minimum 5 innings needed to get a win, and he came out a 4-3 winner. So Doug, making his 4th start of the year against the Padres, looking for his first victory in 23 days. Doug's last win was a 1-0 shutout over Atlanta at Dodger Stadium the 13th of August. Rao was saying tonight before the game that he has gotten away from his pattern of pitches in the last 2 or 3 games because he's not been using his changeup like he should, and he wants to go back to that tonight. Here's Gene Richards, who's been a hot hitter the last month. During the past 29 games, Richards hit .345 for San Diego, and he's batting .271 for the season as he stands in. Choked up on the left side, and Rao delivers a breaking ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Bronce, Bill Russell, Davey Lopes, and Steve Garvey on the infield. Yeager behind the plate. Fastball outside for a ball. 2-0 to Richards. Dusty Baker's in left, Lindbergh in center, and Reggie Smith in right. Doug Rao to the windup, the 2-0 pitch. He swung on and fouled off by Richards. 2 balls and 1 strike. Richards, another one of the speedsters that we see around the National League now. Of course, Pittsburgh has a lot of them. This boy Richards has had a great year in stolen bases, one of the league leaders. He pops it up in foul territory in front of the San Diego dugout. Garvey coming over, loses the cap, and makes the catch. So Gene Richards, who has 40 stolen bases, has only been thrown out 6 times this year. Fouls out to Garvey. 1 away, here's Bill Allman. Allman was a question mark before the game. Here yesterday, Allman aggravated a chest injury and had to come out. And they took x-rays trying to determine if there was any major damage. And just about an hour before the game, they said no, that Allman could play. So here he is hitting .258. But against the Dodgers, Allman's had a great year. He's hitting .364. takes a breaking ball for a called strike at the knees. Allman has 16 hits against the Dodgers. Most of anybody on the Padres ball club. The next one from Rao, foul back behind the plate, 0-2. Nick Colosi is the plate umpire. Frank Pulley working at first base. Ed Montague at second, and John Kibler at third. Allman waiting, Rao to the windup, and the two-strike pitch. Breaking ball, hit to the right side. In shallow right field, Reggie Smith gets a late start. He's there now and makes the catch. So Reggie, I think, lost the ball at first, was able to find it and make the catch. Davey Lopes wound up about 10 feet from him, way out in right field. 2 outs on pop-ups here in the bottom of the first inning for the Padres, and then will bring on Mike Ivey. Ivey hitting .282, 9 home runs, and 61 runs batted in. Ivey playing third base tonight. Gene Tennis working at first base. There's a called strike at the knees. Tennis has not had a good year defensively as a catcher for San Diego. So they think that first base is probably his best spot. They moved Ivey over to third. Fastball inside to Ivey for a ball, 1-1. Of course, the big story in San Diego today is that Dave Kingman has been placed on waivers. And after the game tonight, Kingman should learn which ball club will pick him up. There's a pop fly on the right field line foul. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ivey. So despite the fact that Kingman has had a hot stick of late here in San Diego, he's driven in something like 28 runs in his last 25 games. They're going to get rid of him. Ivey hits one to left field for a single. There's the first hit of the ball game, and Mike Ivey collects it, a 2-out single to left, and that'll bring on George Henry. And when you talk about toward hitters at the moment, George Henry might be at the top of your list. Henry has 16 hits in his last 28 at-bats. One of the National League's top 6 hitters percentage-wise at the moment. He's had at least 2 hits in 7 straight games. He takes a breaking ball from Ralph for a called strike. 5 of those games saw him get 2 hits. 2 other games he got 3 hits. Pitch outside, snaps go to first, and back on the bag is Mike Ivey. Henrik in his last 47 games is hitting .371 for San Diego. Doug Rao at the belt. Checks Ivey. Comes to the plate. Henrik lines with the middle and Lopes. Heading played right and stabs the ball. So Henrik hit it like a shot, but right at Lopes. And the Padres are turned away in the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And at the end of 1, no score.
Defending champion David Pearson grabbed the lead with 24 laps to go Monday and held off Donnie Allison to win the rain-slowed and wreck-marred Southern 500 stock car race. Pearson picked up $24,000 for the victory in the $207,000 race. Buddy Baker was third in a Ford. Richard Petty, who was relieved by Dave Marcus after 27 laps, finished fourth in a Dodge. Cale Yarbrough was fifth in a Chevy. There were 32 lead changes among 7 drivers in the race, which was run at an average speed of just under 107 miles an hour. Pearson put his Mercury out in front at lap 344 when Allison made a final pit stop. The complexion of the race changed drastically when pole-sitter Darrell Waltrip and Yarbrough, who raced a seesaw battle for the lead most of the afternoon, were involved in a 6-car pileup heading into the third turn on lap 327. Yarbrough went down and inside in an effort to get ahead of Waltrip, who closed in on D.K. Ulrich. They crossed the track, and what a pileup. Also involved in that was Janet Guthrie, who finished 19th in the California 500 on Sunday. So, defending champion David Pearson winning the Southern 500 stock car race at Darlington, South Carolina. Okay, let's get back to the action now at San Diego Stadium.
And yesterday, Kingman was not even in uniform here. Alvin Dark saying, I don't want to use a guy that I'm going to lose in a clutch situation coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. So Kingman did not show up. And right after the game tonight, he'll find out if anybody claimed him for $20,000 on waivers. Say takes a breaking ball low for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Kingman has hit 20 home runs this year, 11 with the Padres. And since we've seen him last, he has raised his average 20 points or so. Hitting almost 240 with San Diego, 222 for the year. Breaking ball to Say, taken inside, ball 2, 2-0. Say has seen his average drop under 250 now. He's down to 249. 25 home runs, equaling his career high. 99 RBI. Breaking ball inside to Ron, ball 3, 3-0. Say hit a home run earlier in the year off Ochenko in Los Angeles. Ronnie has 5 home runs against the Padres and 11 RBIs against them. The 3-0 pitch taken on the outside corner for a strike, 3-1. The Padres have been hot too of late. They won 5 of their last 6 games. Ochenko to the windup and the 3-1 pitch. Swung on a miss by Say, strike 2, 3-2. Bob Ochenko is of Russian descent. A 6'2", 185-pound left-hander. Ron Say waiting at the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ochenko lines and delivers. There's a foul ball. Back off to the right, out of play. Count still full. The Padres have been getting good pitching in the last month. In fact, in the last 12 games, their pitchers have allowed only 25 earned runs. And yet the Padres lost 5 of those dozen games. Say waits, and here comes the 3-2 pitch. High, ball 4. And for Say, that is his 13th walk against San Diego this year. He leads the Dodgers in walks with 84. Well, he's second to Smith, Reggie with 91. So Say to first base. The Dodgers have their first base runner of the evening. And here is Steve Garvey. And Ochenko well remembers Garvey because it was Steve who broke up his perfect game here in July with that bunt single in the 8th inning. Garvey has upped his average to 287 with 14 hits in his last 6 games. And he's also had 12 RBIs in those half dozen. So to first, Say back on the bag. Ochenko stretches, delivers. Garvey takes the call, strike. Ochenko has one of San Diego's 3 complete games this year. He shut out St. Louis a couple of weeks ago. Randy Jones has a complete game, so does Dave Price lately. Garvey hammered one foul upstairs, and it's 0-2. For the Padres, this is their 139th game. And yes, only 3 complete games from their entire staff. Garvey waiting, no balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from Ochenko, breaking ball. He went around, and Nick Colosi calls him out. Garvey yelled at Colosi, but Colosi said he broke his wrist. Garvey still is not convinced, but he's on the way back to the Dodger dugout. Ochenko's got his 2nd strikeout. 1 away, and here's Dusty Baker. Baker hitting .280. He's homered in each of his last 2 games and now has a National League high of 22 this season. Baker has driven in 66 runs for the Dodgers. The first one to Dusty, a breaking ball for a called strike. 4 of those 22 home runs by Baker have come against the Padres. He's driven in 8 runs against San Diego. Ochenko goes to first, Say back on the bag. Dusty had gone 22 days without a home run until Saturday and Sunday when he washed them against the Pirates at Dodger Stadium. Baker fouls one off to the right, back off to the 2nd deck upstairs, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Dusty has another nice string going. He has been on base one way or the other in 21 consecutive games. Stretch by Ochenko, the pitch to Baker. Fastball high and away, ball 1, 1-2. Earlier in the year, San Diego's pitching coach Roger Craig was calling the pitches for Bob Ochenko, but not lately. Of course, Craig was doing that for everybody down here except Randy Jones and Riley Fingers. Breaking ball taken inside by Baker, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, Say at first, no score, top of the 2nd inning. Alvin Dark had asked Roger Craig to call the pitches for the young hurlers. The 2-2 pitch. Baker holds up, breaking ball low and inside, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. We'll watch Say to see if he goes from first. Baker waiting. Left-hander Ochenko ready. The stretch, Say goes. The pitch hits the right field. Dave Winfield coming over toward the line, a long run, and it's a foul ball by about 2 feet. So Winfield might have lost it for a second in the sun. Came on late and the ball landed foul by about 2 feet. Halfway down the line and right. So Say back to first and Baker back to try again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is the 15th meeting of the year between these clubs. The Dodgers have won 9, the Padres 5. The Dodgers have done very well here in San Diego, taking 6 of the first 7 this year. Ochenko decides to keep Say close with a lob toss to Gene Tennis at first. Now the stretch by Ochenko. Say goes again. Baker hits one to center field and deep. Henry turns, goes back. He'll have a play now. One-handed catch. Say, who was almost 2 seconds, returns to first. Hendrick grabs Baker's line drive to center for the second out. Number 7. Center fielder Glenn Burke is hitting .231. Rick Mundy's still out with the sore back. Mundy hoping to be able to play very soon. For Rick, this is the 38th game he has missed. The pitch to the right-handed hitting Burke is grounded out to the right side. Good play by the second baseman ranging to his left champion, and he throws out Burke. No runs, no hits, 1 left. At the end of 1.5, Dodgers nothing, Padres nothing.
In the American League Sunday, Seattle 7, Toronto 2, Oakland 7, Detroit 5, California 7, Cleveland 3, New York 4, Minnesota nothing, Baltimore 7, Chicago 5, Kansas City 6, Milwaukee 2, and Boston beat Texas 8-4. The standings after Sunday's play: in the East, New York leads Boston by 4.5 games. Baltimore trails by 5. Detroit is 17.5 back. Cleveland trails by 20.5. Milwaukee 28.5 away, and Toronto trails by 36.5. In the West, Kansas City leads Chicago by 5. Texas is 6 back. Minnesota trails by 6.5. California trails by 16. Seattle is 27 back, and Oakland trails by 27.5 games. So it's New York by 4.5 over Boston in the East. Kansas City leads Chicago by 5 in the West.
There's no score in San Diego at the end of an inning and a half. So let's take the time right now to pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network.
SEN, Fort Clayton Canal Zone.
It'll be Dave Winfield, Gene Tennis, and Dave Roberts for the Padres in the bottom half of the second inning against Doug Rao. No score in the ballgame, 1 hit. That was Mike Ivy's 2-out single for San Diego in the first inning. Tomorrow, we'll be on the air at 12:40 from San Diego Stadium. It's called the Businessman Special down here tomorrow afternoon. Rick Roden going for the Dodgers and Randy Jones for the Padres. Dave Winfield hitting .288. 23 home runs, 85 runs batted in. The Dodgers have not seen the Padres since the All-Star break. They played the final game here that Sunday, the 17th of July. And Winfield at that time had 21 or 22 home runs, so he's not added that much to his total. He's up to 23 now. Winfield's had 6 home runs against the Dodgers this year, and he takes one for a called strike at the knees from Doug Rao. Winfield with 7 hits in his last 4 games. Swings and misses at the pitch for strike 2. 0-2. Big Dave Winfield. Tremendous athlete at the University of Minnesota. He'll play pro football, pro basketball, or pro baseball. His shows the ladders. Winfield takes low. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Doug Rao making his 28th start of the year. Goes to the windup. The pitch, breaking ball low and inside. Dug out of the dirt by Yeager. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Rao set the next pitch. High pop fly on the infield. Davey Lopes calling for it behind the bag at second and makes the catch. 1 away in the second inning for the Padres, and here's Gene Timmons. Timmons has just not been able to get that average above 230 all year. He's hitting 228 tonight. 15 home runs and 56 runs batted in. One thing Timmons has done well all year long. He has been the National League leader most of the season in bases on balls. He has 115 walks. He's also struck out 105 times. Nick Colosi went out to chat with Doug Rao. They held some sort of a conversation before the start of this half inning. Might be something to do with the mound. Rao ready now to the windup. And the pitch to Timmons is swung on the ground as foul over toward the Dodger dugout. No balls and 1 strike. Rao bought a bicycle earlier in the year and was doing a great deal of pedaling, but he says he's cut down on that quite a bit lately. Next pitch high and away for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Most of the Dodger pitchers do a lot of running, 8 or 10 miles a day when they're between starts. But Rao is not one of them. He takes something off, but the 2 pitches upstairs to Timmons, 2 balls and 1 strike. Nothing, bottom of the second inning. Rao to the windup, the next pitch. Hughes foul along first. And that one rolls right through. Don Williams is the first base coach of the Padres. 2-2 to Timmons. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the second. Dave Roberts waiting on deck. Rao to the windup on the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball just high. Ball 3, 3-2. Rao is set. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on it. Missed. Turned it over. And struck him out. First strikeout of the game for Doug Rao. 2 away in the Padres second inning. That'll bring on catcher Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts had 3 hits here yesterday, as did George Henry and Gene Richards. But the Padres wound up losing to the Cubs 2-1. Dave fouls one back into the press box. Roberts batting .212. Of course, he used to be an infielder. Spent a lot of time in Hawaii. They converted him to a catcher. Breaking ball beauty in for a strike, and it's 0-2. Rao set the 2-strike pitch. Fastball grounded up to the Russell side. He bobbles the ball, can't make the play. A hot shot. And so Roberts is aboard. Russell waited for the ball to come up to him. He didn't do so. Stayed down, and Dave Roberts is on. A hot smash. We'll wait and see how he scores it. The batter will be second baseman Mike Champion. Champion hitting .228. Young second baseman out of Santa Ana. Rao delivers low for a ball. 1 ball and no strike. They're going to call an error on Bill Russell. Roberts leads away from first. Champion bounces another one to the left to stay. Russell in the hole in the grass. Back to Lopes. Not in time. Russell wound up in shallow left field, about 25 feet off the left field line when he threw the ball back to Lopes. But Roberts was in sliding safely at second. Hit for Champion. So 2 on, 2 out, and here comes the pitcher, Bob Oshinko. Oshinko's had 4 hits this year and 37 at bats. and he will bat from the left side. So a two-out error by Russell and an infield single by Mike Champion. And the Padres have something cooking here in the second inning. Still no score. Rao trying to get his opposing number to get out of it. A breaking ball high and inside. 1 ball and no strike. Ochinko has 1 RBI this year. Now the pitch. There's a fly ball to center field. Glenn Burke going back, though, and he'll make the play. In left center, one-handed catch. Ochinko hit it well, but Burke made the catch. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. At the end of 2, Dodgers nothing, Padres nothing.
In the National League Sunday, Cincinnati 5, Philadelphia 2, Atlanta 7, New York 5, Houston 7, Montreal 1, Los Angeles 8, Pittsburgh 2, Chicago 2, San Diego 1, St. Louis 8, San Francisco 2. In the East, Philadelphia leads Pittsburgh by 7 games. Chicago is 11 back. St. Louis is 11 back. Montreal trails by 22.5, and New York is 30.5 back. In the West, Los Angeles leads Cincinnati by 10.5 games. Houston is 17 back. San Francisco trails by 20.5 games. San Diego is 23 games back, and Atlanta is 33 games out of first place. So after Sunday's play, it's Philadelphia leading Pittsburgh by 7, Chicago and St. Louis by 11 in the East, and in the West, Los Angeles by 10.5 over Cincinnati.
No score at the end of 2 on this holiday in San Diego. Don't forget tomorrow, a day game. We'll be on the air at 12:40. Rick Rhoden to go against Randy Jones. Game time 1 o'clock, and then after the game, the Dodgers fly to Atlanta for contest Wednesday night and Thursday night, and move into Cincinnati over the weekend for 3. In case you missed the scores earlier in the day, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia divided a doubleheader in Pittsburgh. Pirates won the opener 3-1 as John Candelaria notched his 16th win. But Steve Carlton came back to become the Major's first 20-game victor this year with an 11-1 romp in the second game. Carlton even hit a home run, his 3rd of the year. They had over 40,000 today in Pittsburgh. The Phillies stay 7 games ahead in the East. Chicago beat St. Louis 4-2. Buckner and Bittner homered to back Dave Roberts to beat Eric Rasmussen. Montreal beat New York 4-3. Twitchell over Kuzman. Perez, Valentine, and Mazzilli all homers. For Valentine, his 21st. Ellis hasn't been playing lately for Montreal. Maybe he's been hurt. Atlanta leading San Francisco 4-0 at the end of 3. Roosevelt against Barr, who was knocked out in the first inning. And Cincinnati did not score in the first at Houston. It's Tom Seaver against Mark Limongello. Steve Yeager, Doug Rao, and Davey Lopes for the Dodgers here in the 3rd against Bob Ochinko. Yeager hitting .257, 14 home runs, 51 RBI. Steve fouls one back to the right out of play. Yeager has 3 of those 14 home runs this year against the Padres. In the American League tonight, Milwaukee will be in Anaheim to test the Angels. Frank Tanana going against Jim Slayton. Baltimore and Detroit divided at 2. Detroit won the 11-inning opener 8-7. Rudy May pitched the shutout in the second game 5-0 for the Birds. There's a foul ball by Yeager again off to the right, back into the stands, 0-2. Texas and Minnesota just getting started. Oakland with 7 runs in the second inning beat Chicago 8-7. First game of their doubleheader. And the A's lead the nightcap 1-0 at the end of 5. Here's Ochinko's 2-strike pitch. High to Yeager for a ball, 1-2. First of 2 in Cleveland, the Indians dipped the Yankees 4-3, although Reggie Jackson hit his 23rd homer. Hood beat Hunter. The next one to Yeager. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Good pitch by Ochinko. He got 3 strikeouts, 1 in each inning. That'll bring on Doug Rao. Rao's had 10 hits this year. He's batting .164. One of the hits was a double. Doug has driven in 2 runs. In the second game in Cleveland, there's no score between the Yankees and the Tribe at the end of 1. Boston beats Toronto 8-0. It's Rao taken for a ball, 1-0. Don Ossie pitched a 3-hit shutout for the Red Sox in that first game at Toronto. Kansas City and Seattle also a later start. And it brings you up to date to Major League Baseball on Labor Day. The 1-0 pitch to Rao hit foul off the left field line back upstairs, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Morgan was saying earlier in the year that he thought Ochenko didn't challenge enough hitters. He said for a guy that had the fastball he has, he doesn't need to be throwing 3 and 2 breaking balls. That one misses to Rao, ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. They're quite high on Bob Ochenko here in San Diego. They think he's going to be one of the good pitchers in this league for many years to come. Rao bounces one down the first baseline foul. Jim Gilliam one-hands it and flips it over to Gene Cummins. Preston Gomez coaching the third, and on the bench, coaches Red Adams and Monty Basco. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Doug Rao. No score, third inning. Ochenko's pitch, breaking ball inside, 3 and 2. Ochenko thought he got it, but the count goes all the way out. And so now here is one of those 3-2 situations which Joe Morgan was talking about. Let's see if Ochenko goes breaking ball or power against the pitcher. Breaking ball loose to left field. Gene Richards comes up and makes the catch. 2 away for the Dodgers in the third inning. Davey Loaf flied out to Richards to open the ball game. Beautiful evening in San Diego. No score in the third inning. Lopes takes a breaking ball from Ochenko for a called strike. Dodgers have had only 1 base runner so far. Ron Say walked to lead off the second and stayed at first. The 1 strike pitch pops up behind the plate. Dave Roberts has a play. He's got it. Lopes fouls out. The Dodgers again go in order, and at the end of 2 1/2, no score.
Rudy May, backed by Al Bunbury's 3-run double in the second inning, won his 15th game and notched his 4th shutout Monday in pitching Baltimore to a 5-0 victory over Detroit in the nightcap that salvaged the split of their doubleheader. Rusty Staub ended the 4-hour opener by hitting his 19th home run with 2 out in the 11th inning to give Detroit an 8-7 victory. May, who's now 15 and 12, scattered 8 hits in the second game, while reliever Steve Grilly dropped to 1 and 2 in making his first major league start following 63 relief appearances for the Tigers. Mark Belanger singled in a second inning run prior to Bunbury's bases clearing double, and also gave the Orioles their final run in the 6th by hitting a second home run of the season. The Orioles, who rallied for a run with 2 out in the 9th inning to tie the opener at 6, seemingly had the first game won when Eddie Murray tripled with 2 out in the 10th and then scored. But with 2 out and the bases empty in the bottom of the inning, Orioles manager Earl Weaver yanked Tippy Martinez after a single by pinch hitter Mickey Stanley, and Dick Drago produced to give up successive singles to Bob Adams and Aurelio Rodriguez, and that enabled the Tigers to tie the score. Staub then won the game an inning later with his homer off Drago. Murray, Ken Singleton, and Doug DeSenz each homered for the Orioles in the opener. So the Baltimore Orioles and Detroit Tigers a split of their doubleheader at Detroit.
No scores. We move to the bottom half of the third inning in San Diego. Bob Ochenko pitted against Doug Rao tonight, and Gene Richards, Bill Allman, and Mike Ivey. Up to the plate for the Padres here in the third. Richards fouled out to Garvey at the bottom of the first. He takes one over his head for a ball. 1 ball and no strike. The next one from Rao misses outside ball 2, 2-0. Today in baseball, September 5th. Well, in 1969, Pittsburgh pitcher Steve Blass collected 4 hits himself, held the Cubs to 4 hits, and won 6-2. Richards bounces 1 foul to the Padre dugout, 2-1. All 4 Cub hits that day were by Billy Williams, and all 4 were extra base hits, 2 home runs and 2 doubles. On September 5th, 1959, Washington's Jim Lemon hit 2 home runs in the third inning of Washington's game, and in so doing tied a major league record. Richards fouls one, and that one gets played umpire Nick Colosi, who'll have to take a walk off to the left of the plate. Yeager inquiring about the umpire. Usually it's the other way around. So Colosi bends over. Now he says he's ready. The left-hander hitting Gene Richards waits. Southpaw Doug Rao to the windup on the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball again. He tucks it away from it. It's down out of the strike zone, 3-2. Only 2 hits in the ball game, both by the Padres. Ivy and Champion with singles. One in the first, one in the second. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Richards. Hit to right field, base hit. Richards grounds a single between first and second. And now the Padres pose a threat because Richards is a most successful base stealer. As we told you, he's only been caught 6 times this year in 46 attempts. Bill Allman popped up to Lopes in the first inning. And Richards leads away. Young man out of South Carolina, the good lead, Garvey holding him on. The pitch to Allman, a pitch out. Yeager snaps the throw to first, not in time. So 1 ball and no strikes to Bill Allman. Another flip over to Garvey. And Richards back on the bag. Judged by Rao. Pitch to Allman. There goes Richards. Swung on a miss. Yeager's throwing a hop to Lopes, and he's safe. Now Yeager is claiming that Allman interfered with him, and Tommy Lasorda charges out to Nick Colosi, pushes Yeager away, and says Allman got in the way of Yeager. That's why he couldn't make a throw. Yeager made a very un-Yeager-like type throw. He hit the grass about 30 feet in front of the bag and skipped the Lopes on 1 hop. And Lasorda is really jawing with Colosi. Tommy has not been kicked out of the game this year. He was booted out of 1 on a technicality in Pittsburgh because of a beanball incident. But he is really getting his say in with Colosi. And now he's saying to Colosi, why don't you ask first base umpire Frank Pulley? And Pulley's turned his back. And Colosi's saying, I called it myself. And Tommy's very angry. This is as hot as I think we've seen him all year. It'll be a stolen base for Richards, his 41st of the year. Frank Tavares of the Pirates leading the league with 53. But Lasorda's not through yet. And he and Colosi are going at it jaw to jaw. Now John Kibler walks down from third base. And Lasorda sticks his arms out to say, what do I do? So now Tommy walks back to the Dodger dugout, and Richards is out at second base with nobody out. As soon as Yeager threw the ball, he wheeled to Colosi and said, Allman interfered with me. Got the bat in the way. Might have got the bat in the glove. Might have been the claim. All right, Rao out of the stretch. The 1-1 pitch to Allman around the bunt. Misses. Yeager bluffs the throw to second, but nobody covering. Russell was still on the left field side of the bag. So it's now called strike on Allman. They change it, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here in the third, Gene Richards stroked a single to right and stole second base. Now Allman waiting 1-2. Rao stretches. The pitch to Allman. Breaking ball, flying to center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Burke up to get it, and only the third base can go Richards. He thought Burke might have a play. So first and third for San Diego. Nobody out here in the third inning. 4 hits off Doug Rao. And here's third baseman Mike Ivy. Ivy's single to left his first time up. So Rao trying to turn the Padres away. The way Pavlichenko looks tonight, the Dodgers may not get a lot of runs. Right now it's 0-0. Bottom of the third, nobody out. Runners at the corners. Dodgers keep the infield back. Rao's pitch to Ivy, low for a ball, 1 ball and no strike. Dodgers still don't have a hit in this ball game. San Diego with all 4. Ivy waiting. Rao ready. He'll go over to first base. Back is Allman. Allman has 19 steals himself in 26 tries. So the Padres have their best base runners out there at first and third. The pitch to Ivy. Hit foul on the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. San Diego's not done well against left-handed pitchers all year long. They've lost 24 out of 35, but they're mounting their threat here against Doug Rao in the third inning tonight. Now the stretch. Again, a toss to first, and Allman back. Ivy stepped out. Now he's back in. Another throw to first base, and Allman back. Meanwhile, Richard just standing 15 feet off the bag, down the line from third. Another throw to first. Allman back. So Rao trying to keep Allman close. Thinking the Padres might try to do a little double steal here. Now the stretch by Doug. And they pick him off first base. Over to Garvey. Now to Wilson. They throw it away in the left field. Richards will score. Allman to second base. It's 1-0 San Diego. Rao caught Allman leading the wrong way and had him picked off. He was caught off by 15 or 20 feet. And Garvey threw the ball right through Lopes' glove, and Garvey will draw the air. His 8th of the year. Richards, who was holding at third and wasn't going anywhere, watching the rundown play, is able to just walk home. So a big error. And the Padres wind up with a run home and a man at second and nobody out. 2 errors on the Dodgers then in 3 innings. Ivy waiting, 1 ball and 1 strike. Doug Rao sets the pitch. Inside, ball 2, 2-1. So Rao had a feeling that Allman was up to something, and he caught him off. And by plenty. The next one is fouled back by Ivy. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So a single. A controversial stolen base, the play on which the Dodgers thought the batter Allman interfered with the catcher Yeager. Then a line single is centered by Allman, sending Richards to third. And then the pickoff in which the runner was trapped off first and got away on an error by Garvey. Ivy swings and misses, striking out. And that time a good off-speed pitch by Rao, and he gets the San Diego third baseman. 2 strikeouts for Rao. 1 away in the inning. Here's George Henry. Henry get a bullet up the middle in the first inning, but Davey Lopes had positioned himself perfectly near the bag at second and made the catch. First base is open, but with the big guy Dave Winfield on deck, it looks like the Dodgers are going to take the chance with Henry first, but he fouls one back. 0-1. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, no hits, 2 errors for the Dodgers. Instead of having a runner at third and 2 out now, Rao's behind 1-0. The man at second, only 1 out. Henry stakes high. Yeager throws through. Backhanded by Lopes, and say would have been another error on an errant toss to second base by Yeager. Davey had to use quick hands to one-hand that ball behind the bag as it bounced to him quickly, coming off that grass. So 1 ball and 1 strike to George Henry. Rao stretches, checks Allman. The pitch to Henry. Outside, ball 2, 2-1. Yeager asks Olsen to look at the ball. He'll keep it in play. If the Dodgers execute the pickoff play properly, this is still a scoreless ball game with a runner at third. Henry takes inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to the Padres center fielder. It might be that Rao's not going to give Henry anything good. He's ready. 3-1 pitch. He missed outside, ball 4. So not an intentional walk, but Rao kept it away from Henry. Rao's first walk. The Padres in with runners at first and second with one away here in the third inning, and here's Dave Winfield. Winfield popped up in the second inning. So Reggie Smith in shallow right field. Well, looking for the double play ball. The stretch and the first one to Winfield. Good breaking ball in for a strike at the knees. 0-1. 1-0 San Diego. Rao stretches. The pitch to Winfield. Rolling inside. Yeager digs it out of the dirt. 1-1. The Padres have actually done better on the road than they have here at home. They won 31 on the road, 30 here at San Diego Stadium. Tonight they lead 1-0 in the third inning. Winfield hits one to deep right field. Reggie Smith going back in front of the warning track, makes the catch. Allman tags and goes to third. Henrik retreats to first, 2 away, and now runners at first and third for the Padres. Winfield stroked it hard, but Smith got it on the warning track for the second out of the inning. Here's Gene Tennis, who struck out swinging in the second inning. Another milestone in baseball. It was 22 years ago today that Don Newcomb won his 20th game of the season and also hit his 7th home run to set a National League record. Rao's first pitch to Tennis is upstairs for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Don Newcomb, of course, now is the Director of Community Relations for the Dodgers. Rao to belt, the 1-0 pitch. Inside the Tennis, ball 2, 2-0. Rao ought to be out of the inning. With the ball game still 0-0. But he is trailing 1-0, and the Padres have runners at first and third with 2 outs. Tennis grounds one to stay. He'll go down to Lopes at second. They get the fielder's choice. George Henrik forced out, 5-4. But the Padres take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits. A very important error, and 2 left. At the end of 3, Padres 1, Dodgers 0.
Dave Parker of Pittsburgh is the top hitter in the National League after Sunday's games with a .346 batting average. Rennie Stennett of Pittsburgh, .336. Ted Simmons of St. Louis at .328. Ken Griffey of Cincinnati at .321. And Reggie Smith of Los Angeles at .320. Rod Carew of Minnesota leads the American League with a .380 batting average. Lyman Bostic of Minnesota hitting .337. Mickey Rivers of New York at .328. And Ken Singleton of Baltimore hitting .327. George Foster is the Major League home run leader. He has 45. Jeff Burroughs of Atlanta is next in the National League with 35. Jim Rice of Boston and Greg Nettles of New York are the American League home run leaders with 34. Bobby Bonds of California with 33. Foster is the Major League RBI leader with 128. Lozinski of Philadelphia has 111. Larry Heisel of Minnesota, the American League RBI leader with 110. Bonds of California has 100.
With the Padres leading the Dodgers 1-0 after 3 innings in San Diego, let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers Radio Network. Doug Rao drew Rick Russell in his last start. Lost that ball game as Russell posted his 19th victory of the year. And Doug will likely draw Tom Seaver in his next outing Saturday night in Cincinnati. And here tonight in San Diego, he's up against another toughie, young left-hander Bob Ochinko, who has held the Dodgers hitless for 3 innings and leads it 1-0. We'll pass along our best wishes tonight to those of you listening to the broadcast on American Forces Radio. Happy you're along on Labor Day. Let's go to the 4th inning in San Diego. 1-0 Padres. And with more play-by-play, here's Jerry Doggett.
Okay, Ross, and it'll be Russell, Smith, and Fay now trying to solve Ochinko, who has really been a chink in the Dodger armor here in San Diego the last 2 times. He hasn't allowed much. Here's the pitch on the way to Russell. Popped up foul off to the right side. Roberts coming over. This ball's going to be over the screen into the first row of box seats. So it is strike 1. It took the Dodgers into the 8th inning the last time on July the 16th to get a base hit against Ochinko. And here they are again now. They've gone through three, and all he's given them so far has been a base on ball to Ron Fay. So the young man out of Detroit doing a good job with the Padres. His record is 7-9, but he's pitched much better than that a lot of times, especially against the Dodgers. Next pitch high for ball, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Russell waiting again now the pitch. Curveball and a fly ball into center field. Henry coming up for it. Now calling under it and makes the play. Just in front of Gene Richards, the left fielder. So Russell out on a high fly ball to center, 1 down, and the batter will be Reggie Smith. Reggie grounded out to third his first time up. Reggie hitting .320. 27 home runs, 77 RBIs. Ochinko ready to go. No hits yet for the Dodgers. We're in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball hit foul past third. Reggie got just a piece of the curveball and rolled it slowly past third base coach Preston Gomez. 0-1 the count to Smith. Batting from the right side. Here's Ochinko's windup and the pitch fastball for a strike. 0-2. Another left-hander goes tomorrow. That'll be Randy Jones, 6-11 on the year, and Randy on the comeback trail. He'll be working tomorrow. It's a curve high, ball 1-2. Randy's earned run average at 5.21, and he has only 1 complete game this year. All right, the 1-2 pitch on the way. Reggie swings and misses. The ball gets away from Roberts. Smith jogging toward first base, but Roberts picks it up and throws him out. So that's a strikeout number 4 for Ochinko. Curveball. Reggie chased that ball in the dirt. So 2 away, and here's Ron Fay, the only Dodger base runner so far. Fay drew a walk, batting .249. And for the first time this year, Ronnie's average has gone under .250. One reason the Padres are down in the standings as they are could be Randy Jones. Last year, Randy had 25 complete games. When he won 22 games and lost 14, only 1, of course, this year. But he's been plagued with that arm problem after the wintertime operation. Randy will be on hand tomorrow, going against Rick Roden. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Slider for a strike, 1-1. Ron Fay, batting in the number 4 spot. Steve Garvey on deck. Padres lead 1-0 on a gift run. Now the pitch on the way. Fastball too high, and it goes to a 2-1 count. The Dodgers appeared to have Allman picked off second base, but he got away. When Garvey's throw got off Lope's glove, and they give Garvey the error. Could have gone either way, perhaps. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Ronnie takes another curve. Strike 2. 2-2 the count. Ochinko mixing them up quite well. Bob Ochinko. He's a New Year's Day baby, born in 1955, January the 1st. Fay hits one foul off to the right out of play. So he gets started on the 1st of the year in 1955. He's 6'2", 185-pounder. And this is only his 2nd year in baseball, professional baseball. Came right out of college last year, went to Amarillo, then came to the Padres at the end of the year. Fastball into the hands, ball 3, and it's 3-2. This year, he made the staff right away. Last year with the Padres, when he came up at the end of the year, he was 0-2, and he worked only 4 innings and was pounded for 11 hits. But he had a lot to learn, and he's been learning it quickly. 3-2 pitch to Fay with 2 outs. Ronnie takes curve, strikes very tall, and the side retired as Ochinko changes up with a curveball and gets Fay. 5 strikeouts. Dodgers retired in order, and the score at the end of 3.5. Padres 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
In minor league baseball, in the American Association, the championship playoffs are underway. Omaha against Denver. Omaha leading the series 2-1. Omaha won the first 2, 7-6 and 10-4. Denver won game 3 by the score of 6-3. They'll play at Omaha, and then on the if necessary basis, which they will be, Denver will be at Omaha for the next 3 games. So they play 3 at Denver, and then the final 4 at Omaha, cuts down travel. In the International League, on Saturday, And on Sunday, Columbus 4, Charleston 3 in 10 innings Sunday. Toledo 14, Syracuse 9. Tidewater 8, Richmond 3. Pawtucket and Rochester split. Pawtucket taking the opener 1-0 in 7. Rochester the nightcap 9-7 in 7 innings. Pawtucket has already clinched the International League Championship. In the Pacific Coast League, Phoenix has clinched the East. Hawaii has clinched the West.
To the last half of the fourth inning, Robert Champion of Ocinco coming on now to face Doug Rao. Doug has allowed 4 hits, 1 run unearned. And the bottom 3 of the order coming on now. Today in baseball, September the 5th, 1954. Henry Aaron, in his first year in the majors, broke his ankle sliding into second base and missed the remainder of the season. 1943, Cincinnati's Woody Williams started a string of 10 consecutive hits that ran through this game and the next. Woody had 1 base on balls during the spring. In 1914 on this date, Dave Erb, pitching for Providence in the International League, shut out Toronto 9-0 on 1 hit and hit his first and only minor league home run. Here's the pitch from Rao. Fly ball on the right side. Foul. Down the line comes Garvey. Through the coaching box, he's there, and Steve makes the play for the out. So 1 pitch, 1 away, and the batter will be Mike Champion. And to conclude this day in baseball, September the 5th, in 1908, Nat Rooker pitched the first Dodger no-hitter in modern-day baseball, beating Boston 6-0. A score out of Houston at the end of 3 innings of play. The Astros lead the Reds 2-0. That's Lemon Jello against Seaver. Cabela home run in the first inning. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball back to the box. 1 hop to Rao. Turns, throws, gets him. 2 outs on 2 pitches. So 2 up and 2 down quickly now, and Bob Ocinco taking off the windbreaker. He tried to center field his first time up. Bob Ocinco. If the Padres get Randy Jones back on the beam next year with Ocinco and youngsters Sawyer and Shirley, they have the makings of a pretty good young pitching staff, and of course one of the best relief men in the business in Raleigh Fingers. So they have a chance to have a pretty good pitching staff, and that's been their problem this year. They have an earned run average of 4.34. Staff earned run average. The only good earned run averages actually belong to the bullpen people. There's a bounce to the slope, up with it, fires the first in time, and Rao gets him out on order for the first time tonight, and on a minimum number of pitches. Side out the score at the end of 4, Padres 1, Dodgers nothing.
In the American League Sunday, Seattle 7, Toronto 2, Oakland 7, Detroit 5, California 7, Cleveland 3, New York 4, Minnesota nothing, Baltimore 7, Chicago 5, Kansas City 6, Milwaukee 2, and Boston beat Texas 8-4. The standings after Sunday's play: in the East, New York leads Boston by 4.5 games. Baltimore trails by 5. Detroit is 17.5 back. Cleveland trails by 20.5. Milwaukee 28.5 away, and Toronto trails by 36.5. In the West, Kansas City leads Chicago by 5. Texas is 6 back. Minnesota trails by 6.5. California trails by 16. Seattle is 27 back, and Oakland trails by 27.5 games. So it's New York by 4.5 over Boston in the East. Kansas City leads Chicago by 5 in the West.
Reserve seats remain on sale for the Dodgers' final 2 games with the Reds at Dodger Stadium, September 14th and 15th. Reserve seats are available now at all Ticketron and Mutual outlets and at the Dodgers Advanced Ticket Office, 1750 Stadium Way, adjacent to the Naval Armory. Information on general admission seats for the series with the Reds will be announced at a later date. The Dodgers home a week from tonight. They will open the home stand with San Diego, then Cincinnati, and then the Atlanta Braves. Okay, let's go along into the 5th inning. The Dodgers down by a run. Garvey, Baker, and Burke will start it off here. Garvey struck out his first time up. So Garvey hitting 287. Steve's low mark for the year was at 274. He drifted down to 274 about 10 days ago on August the 25th, but now he's worked it back up to 287 and still climbing. So Garvey trying to get it back into the 300 neighborhood. Ocinco delivers, and Garvey takes high with a fastball, leans under one, ball 1. Dodgers no runs, no hits, only 1 base runner. It was Garvey who broke up Ochenko's perfect game bid in July with a bunt single in the 8th inning. The Dodgers are on the win. A ground ball to third. Ivy backhand staggers across the line, throws in time, one away. So Garvey grounds out. Ivy makes a good play right on the line. Here's Baker at bat. Dusty's hitting at 280 now, and his low mark was 261 back on the 10th of August. So Baker has been climbing back up, about 20-point gain in about a month. Dusty with 22 home runs, 66 runs batted in. 1 out, 5th inning. Twilight time here in San Diego. The ball a little tough to pick up. Now the pitch on the way. Curve down low, 1 ball, no strikes. The Padres have 4 hits in the game, all singles. The Dodgers, nothing against Ochenko. He has 1 complete game, and he has a shutout against the Cardinals. The line drive to right field, a base hit. Let's call it a looping line drive to right field. So Dusty gets the first Dodger hit of the game, looping one into right center field, and here's Glenn Burke at bat. Ochenko, with a complete game and the shutout, has the only complete game shutout for the Padres. They have 4 in all, but his is the only one solo. Shirley and Fingers, Jones and Fingers, and then the quartet, Jones, Sawyer, Spillner, and Fingers against the Dodgers in 11 innings. There's a throw to first base, not in time for Baker. So Burke at bat. Here's the look down, the pitch on the way. Burke, in his game against Ochenko back in July, followed Garvey's bunt single with a base hit to keep the inning alive, and then Yeager drove in the only run of the game as Tommy John blanked the Padres, and the Dodgers beat Ochenko and the Padres 1-0. There's a curve to Burke, 1 ball, 1 strike. Glenn is struggling a bit. He's hitting 231. Good defensive ball player, but the bat has not come around for him as yet. 231 with no home runs and 7 RBIs. Here's the pitch. Ground ball hit foul. Left side, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Burke is a strong young man, but he hasn't shown much signs of being a power hitter. He has 28 hits, but only 5 doubles. No triples and no home runs. Throw to first again, and Baker back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball game in the top of the 5th inning. 1-0 San Diego leading. The run came in the 3rd inning. Bob Ochenko checks and delivers. And Burke at the looper into right center field. Going for it as Hendrick is there. The 1-hitter for the out. So Burke, a fly ball to center field to Hendrick. Moving into right center field to haul it down. And that'll bring on Steve Yeager, who struck out his first time up. We're not sure whether Roger Craig is calling the pitches for Ochenko tonight or not. But as Ross mentioned it, that has been the custom of Alvendar to allow Craig to call the pitches, and he's called the game for several of the Padres pitchers, including veteran Dave Freisleben, and especially some of the youngsters, including Ochenko. Roger Craig, by the way, has teamed up with Bob Skinner, one of the Padre coaches. They have something going in the offseason. The San Diego School of Baseball, and boy, they've lined up a whole bunch of talented instructors to handle their school for them this fall. They'll have guys like Joe Morgan and Randy Jones and Maury Worlds and Raleigh Fingers and a whole host of others who'll be here. So they're just trying to help out the youngsters of the area and teach them the finer points of baseball in a wintertime baseball school. Any of you kids interested in that, contact either Roger or Bob Skinner at the San Diego Padre Ball Club. They've got a good program going here. Well, they've been busy in the off-season helping the youngsters of the area learn the finer points of baseball, and they've rounded up a good staff. Next pitch comes high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to Yeager. The Dodgers have 2 outs. Baker, the base runner, at first base. Yeager likes to hit in this ballpark. He's done pretty well against the Padres. Had a home run here this year. He's had 2 at home against the Padres, 3 in all. There's a throw to first base, not in time. Yeager's had 4 career home runs in the San Diego Stadium. Now the 1-0 pitch. Bounce back toward the mound. Ochenko waits for it to come down. Turns, throws, gets him, and the inning is over. So base hit for the Dodgers, but that's all. No runs. 1 man left, and the score at the end of 4.5 innings of play. Padres 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
Wilbur Wood and Laren LeGros combined to pitch Chicago to a 2-1 victory over the Oakland A's and a split of their doubleheader Monday, and that keeps the White Sox alive in the American League West pennant race. The A's sent 12 batters to the plate in the second inning of the opener, banged out 6 hits and picked up 3 walks and scored 7 times for an 8-7 victory. The White Sox, needing to win in the nightcap to keep from falling out of the chase, were behind 1-0 in the 6th inning of that second game when they scored 2 runs on 3 hits and then a sacrifice fly and then held off the running A's for the split. Chet Lemon threw out 2 runners at home, including a game-ending double play with a tying run at third. Don Kessinger singled to start the 6th inning rally. That's the first hit off loser Pablo Torreloba. Jim Essien doubled him to third, and then Kessinger scored on a long fly to center by Alan Bannister. 1 out later, Eric Soderholm doubled to left to score Essien with what proved to be the winning run. So the Oakland A's splitting with the Chicago White Sox.
To the last half of the 5th inning. Top of the order for the San Diego Padres. It'll be Richards, Tallman, and Ivy coming on. Take a glance at the scoreboard now. Houston 2, Cincinnati nothing at the end of 3 innings of play. Lemoncello and Seaver, Cabela home run first inning. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia split the doubleheader. The Pirates won the first game 3-1 behind Candelaria, beating Lurch. Martin and Dyer home runs. Pittsburgh lost the second game. Philadelphia winning easily 11-1. Carson all the way into the 9th inning, then got 9th inning pickup from Brewstar. Carson also a home run. Carson gets his 20th win of the year. The Pirates picked up 10 hits, but were outclassed by the Philadelphia ball club 11-1. Here's Richards at bat, singled and stole a base, and was picked off. It's a bouncing ball to Lope. Comes in, short hops it nicely. Wow, good play by Davey. That ball almost took a tricky hop by him, and he had to reverse position to the glove from up to down and make the play on it. Ball almost bounced right by him. Cut it off his left hip. So Richards out on a ground ball to Lope. And Rao now has gotten the last 4 outs on 5 pitches. Boy, he's getting the maximum out of the minimum. There's a curveball a little high. 1 ball, no strike. Chicago Cubs beat St. Louis today 4-2. At Chicago, Roberts the winner and Rasmussen the loser. And Montreal beat New York 4-3. Twitchell the winner and Kuzman the loser. He has now lost 18 games. Perez and Valentine home run for Montreal. There's a line drive foul down the right field line out of play. And with the glove leans across the inning to make the catch on that one. It is 4-0 Atlanta leading San Francisco in Atlanta at the end of 5 1/2. Roofman against Barr. American League Milwaukee, California later. There's a foul to the wire. The count is 2-2 now. Allman, he hits the Dodgers like he owns them. He's hitting over 365 against the Dodgers for the year and 258 against the rest of the league. And he's been a tough guy for the Dodgers to get out. Breaking balls, swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Allman goes down on strikes. Rao's 3rd strikeout of the game. There are 2 gone, and the batter will be Mike Ivy. Detroit beat Baltimore first game 8-7. Baltimore won the nightcap 5-0. 3-2 Minnesota leads Texas in the 4th inning of their game at Minnesota. Oakland beat Chicago 8-7. In the first game, White Sox won the second game 2-1. Cleveland 4-3 over the Yankees in the first game, no score second game in the 4th inning. Boston beat Toronto 8-0. As the bouncer backs around, knocks it down, picks it up, throws, and gets Ivy to retire the side. So Rao now has retired 8 men in a row since he walked Hendrick in the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on, and the score at the end of 5. Padres 1, Dodgers nothing.
PGA champion Lanny Watkins withstood an early blitz by Tom Weiskopf, then pulled away from the field on the backside for a 5-under par 65 to win the $300,000 World Series of Golf at the Firestone Country Club. Watkins, who picked up $100,000 for the win, started the day 5 shots ahead of Weiskopf, his playing partner. But when Weiskopf rolled in a 9-foot birdie putt in the 8th, his 6th of the round, the 2 players were even. That, however, appeared to be Watkins' final shot to put his game into high gear. He birdied the 9th, 10th, 12th, 16th, and 17th to finish the 72-hole total with a score of 13 under 267, and that broke the previous Firestone course record of 268 held by Ray Floyd. Marquez, who also had a final round 69, finished fourth at 276, while Gary Player, Floyd, and Jack Nicklaus tied for fourth at 278.
Doug Rao will start it off with the Dodgers when we go to the sixth inning now. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 errors for the Dodgers. The Dodgers' next home Sunday will be T-shirt day at Dodger Stadium. It'll be the Dodgers playing the Atlanta Braves on Sunday, September the 18th, with a Dodger T-shirt for all youngsters 14 years and under. A Sunday at Dodger Stadium and a Dodger T-shirt for the youngsters. That's Sunday, September the 18th at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers out on the road for a short trip and back home for a good home stand with Atlanta, the final three, after we've seen San Diego and Cincinnati for 2 games apiece. Then the Dodgers have a short road trip, 2 games in San Francisco and 3 in Houston. Then they'll have the final homestand where Houston and San Francisco in. Here's a curveball to Rao in there for a strike. Does slide to left first time up. Left-hand batter against left-hand pitcher. Rao has 10 hits on the year and 2 RBIs. Ochenko delivers. Fastball pops into left field. Richards right there up a step or 2 waiting and handles it for the out. Rao for the second time flies to left field, and the batter now will be Davey Lopes. Davey has slid to left and fouled out. The Dodger bats are very, very quiet after enjoying a hitting feast against the Pirates. The Dodgers against the Pirates had 18 hits, 7 hits, and 8 hits. They had 10 hits in the final game against Chicago. But right now, Ochenko has really cooled them off here in San Diego. Here's the wind-up band, the pitch on the way. A little high for ball, 1 ball, no strike. The Dodger lead is 10 and a half games. And they have 26 to play, including this one. Davey takes a curveball too high. Ball 2, and it goes to a 2 ball and no strike count. Ochenko does not follow the pattern or the myth of a wild left-hander. He has walked only 53 in 133 innings before tonight's game. He's got pretty good control. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Davey takes low for ball 3. 3 balls, no strike. I'll tell you a couple of left-handers that have good control. Doug Rao and Tommy John. John has worked 180 innings, walked 38. Rao 180 innings, walked 39. So there's 2 left-handers with good control. Ochenko's fastball is in there, 3-1. Pitchers in these times, if you're wild, you just don't have much chance. Control is a basic asset. Davey, it's a high pop fly, shallow center field. George Hendricks floating in and under, waiting, and he makes the catch for the out. The Lopes flies out 2 down, and the batter will be Bill Russell. Bill Russell is flying out, struck out. Dodgers just 1 hit, a looping single to right field by Dusty Baker in the 5th inning. Here's Ochenko's pitch. Fastball high and away, 1 ball, no strike. Well, he's got it down pat against the Dodgers the last couple of times. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Bill. Slider for a strike, 1-1. Ochenko's numbers not impressive. 7 wins, 9 losses, a 4.23 earned run average, 22 starts, 1 complete game. Russell swings the ground ball to third. Ivy on the grass, up with it. Makes his play, fired out as Tennis came off the bag and then got back ahead of Russell. So the Dodgers go quietly again in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left, and the score at the end of 5 1/2. Padres 1, and the Dodgers have nothing.
Defending champion David Pearson grabbed the lead with 24 laps to go Monday, and then held off Johnny Allison to win the rain slowed and Rec Marge Southern 500 stock car race. Pearson picked up $24,450 for the victory in the $207,000 race. Buddy Baker was third in a Ford. Richard Petty, who was relieved by Dave Marcus after 27 laps, finished 4th in a Dodge. Cale Yarborough was 5th in a Chevy. Pearson finished with a 2.5-second edge over Allison, who Chevrolet had led since the 260th lap. There were 32 lead changes among 7 drivers in the race, which was run at an average speed of just under 107 miles an hour. Pearson put his Mercury out in front at lap 344 when Allison made a final pit stop. The complexion of the race changed drastically when pole sitter Darrell Waltrip and Yarborough, who raced a seesaw battle for the lead most of the afternoon, were involved in a 6-car pileup heading into the third turn on lap 237.
To the last half of the 6th inning, Doug Rao locked up in another one. Dougie's been thrown under the ladder here lately. He hasn't had too much luck going for him. Beaten by Russell the last time out, and Doug has not had a win. He beat Atlanta 1-0 on the 13th of August. This is his 4th start since that time. All right, here's Hendrick at bat. George batting in the number 4 spot, hitting .317, lined out and walked. George Hendrick, right-hand batter. He's been doing a whale of a job for the Padres. Here's the pitch on the way. High fly ball to center field playable. Burke right there, jogging back a few steps. He's under it now, waiting. He's got it. So Hendrick, first ball, swinging, flies out. All of a sudden, the Padres are jumping on the first pitch by Rao. Good control pitcher. They figure they might just as well be swinging away. They might get one they can handle right off the bat. Here's Winfield at bat, flied to right and popped up. Dave is 0 for 2. 23 home runs and only 2 since the All-Star game. 85 runs batted in for Big Dave. The Padres have had 104 home runs on the year. They have allowed 136. Dodgers have hit 160 and allowed 101. Now the windup and the pitch on the way. Ground ball left side, stay up with it, wide to the bag, turns, throws to Garvey in time, 2 pitches, 2 outs. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Rao's getting them out in a hurry. He got the side out in order in the 4th inning on 4 pitches. Then he got a ground out on Richards to start the 5th inning on 1 pitch. Struck out Allman, got Ivy on a 1-pitch play. Now he gets Hendrick and Winfield, and he's really not making too many pitches tonight. 2 away. Up now will be Tennis. Pitch on the way to Gene, taken low for a ball. 1 ball and no strike. Rao usually starting right in there with a strike. Now misses the Tennis. Gene winds, delivers, swung on a miss. 1-1. Tennis, 0 for 2. He's hitting .228, 15 home runs, 56 RBIs. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Curve, strike 2. That's 5 pitches for Rao in the inning, and he has a 1-2 count with 2 outs. All right, Doug taking signs again from Yeager. Last half of the 6th inning, here's the pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Up with it is Russell. Low to Garvey, digs it out, and the side retired on 6 pitches. Cole goes to the last hitter. 3 up, 3 down, the score at the end of 6th inning. Padres 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
Bruce Bochy drove in 3 runs, and Andre Thornton tripled home another to help the Cleveland Indians snap a 13-game losing streak to New York by defeating the Yankees 4-3 in the first game of a doubleheader. The loss snapped a 7-game Yankee winning streak and cut their American League East lead to 3.5 games over Boston. Dwayne Kuiper, who scored the winning run when the Indians last defeated the Yankees on July 1st, 1976, led off the 7th with a single and then gave the Tribe a 3-2 lead by scoring on Thornton's triple. Sparky Lyle replaced starter and loser Catfish Hunter, and Bochy followed with a single to score Thornton with what proved to be the deciding run. The Indians took a 1-0 lead in the first inning on singles by Paul Dade and Coy Kuiper, and then Bochy's sacrifice fly, and added another run in the third when Marvell Blanks singled, Thornton walked, and Bochy lined his RBI single to right. The Yankees scored twice in the 5th without a hit after Cleveland starter and winner Don Hood filled the bases on walks. Right now, let's pause for station identification. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
SEN Fort Clayton Canal Zone.
1-0. Padres lead the Dodgers as we move along into the 7th inning. More action. Here's Ross.
Okay, Jerry, this holiday game is moving right along. Played 6 innings here in about an hour and 19 minutes tonight. 1-0 Padres on an unearned run in the 3rd inning. San Diego taking advantage of a Dodger pickoff play, which first was going to work very well, and then fizzled in mid-throw. When Garvey flipped one down the loop, went right through his glove. Garvey drew the air, and home from third to score. The only one of the night was Gene Richards. And that's been it, as Bob Ochenko has limited the Dodgers to one hit over the first 6 innings. A looping single with one out of the 5th by Dusty Baker to right field. Tom Griffin throwing in the San Diego bullpen, just getting in some work, and Hank Webb, who was called up from the minor leagues this week, tossing in the Dodger bullpen. Now Webb sits down. Reggie Smith leads off, 7th inning. He's bounced out and struck out tonight. He rolls one foul over toward the Dodger dugout. Reggie, with an 8-game hitting string, during those 8 games, he's had 15 hits. Smith has never hit a home run here at San Diego Stadium. Ochenko's one-strike pitch is a ground ball right back to the pitcher. One hopper, and he throws him out. So 1 away in the 7th inning. That'll bring on Ron Say. Say, one of 2 Dodger base runners tonight. He walked the lead off the 2nd inning, but got no farther than first. And then Ron was called out on strikes in the 4th. Ochenko has fanned 5. That was the lone walk, plus the hit to Baker, and that's been it for the Dodgers. Ochenko winds and over. Say bounces one out to the shortstop. Fielded there and thrown to first by Allman in time. So Ochenko has the Dodgers eating out of his hand, just as he did in July here, when he retired the first 22 Dodgers to face him and wound up losing 1-0 to Tommy John. Steve Garvey started his downfall that night with a bunt single in the 8th inning with 1 away. Later in the inning, after Baker had forced Garvey, Burke and Yeager singled for the lone run that night. Tonight, it's the other way around. Bob Ochenko is beating the Dodgers 1-0. We're in the 7th. Garvey has struck out and bounced out to 3rd. Breaking ball, Garvey a half swing and a field to first. No, says Frank Bully. 1-0 to Garvey. In Houston, at the end of 4 innings, the Astros still leading the Cincinnati Reds 2-0 behind Mark Lemongello. Garvey, a fly ball to center. That'll be easy for George Hendricks. And Ochenko's got the Dodgers again in succession in the 7th. 8 in a row retired since Baker's 5th inning single. The end of 6 1/2, Padres 1, Dodgers 0.
In the National League Sunday, Cincinnati 5, Philadelphia 2, Atlanta 7, New York 5, Houston 7, Montreal 1, Los Angeles 8, Pittsburgh 2, Chicago 2, San Diego 1, St. Louis 8, San Francisco 2. In the East, Philadelphia leads Pittsburgh by 7 games, Chicago is 11 back, St. Louis is 11 back, Montreal trails by 22.5, and New York is 30.5 back. In the West, Los Angeles leads Cincinnati by 10.5 games. Houston is 17 back. San Francisco trails by 20.5 games. San Diego is 23 games back, and Atlanta is 33 games out of first place. So after Sunday's play, it's Philadelphia leading Pittsburgh by 7, Chicago and St. Louis by 11 in the East, and in the West, Los Angeles by 10.5 over Cincinnati.
Here's Danny Goodman's latest special, a Dodger flashlight, a Dodger yearbook, an 8x10 autographed team photo, and a Dodger pen, all for only $2. Send to Danny Goodman, Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, 90012. The fans stretching here at the bottom of the 7th inning in San Diego. They've seen the Padres keep that 1-0 lead that they got in the 3rd inning. Dave Roberts, Mike Champion, and Bob Ochenko will test Doug Rao, who is due to bat 4th when the Dodgers come up in the 8th inning. An unearned run has been the difference thus far. Rao's first pitch, a breaking ball, is fouled back by Roberts. Dave was safe on Russell's there in the 2nd, fouled out to Garvey in the 4th. On this trip, the Dodgers will visit San Diego, Atlanta, and Cincinnati. Roberts swings and misses strike 2, 0-2. In those 3 cities so far this season, the Dodgers have won 15 of 20. They are 6-1 here in San Diego, 5-2 in Atlanta, 4-2 at Cincinnati. Roberts strikes out swinging. Doug Rao has his 4th strikeout. 1 away in the San Diego 7th inning. That'll bring on Mike Champion. Champion legs out a hit to deep short in the 2nd inning. Actually, Dave Roberts is the man who got the 2nd ahead of a throw from Russell to Lowe. giving Champion his single. And then Champion bounced one back to Rao in the fourth inning. There's another one, a high hopper back toward the hill. Rao waits for it, throws, gets him. 2 away in the seventh inning, and Rao not throwing many pitches here in the last 3 or 4 innings. In fact, Doug working on a string. He's retired 13 men in a row since George Henry walked in the third inning. Pavlichenko gets a well-deserved hand from the fans in San Diego. He has pitched an outstanding ball game tonight, holding the Dodgers to 1 hit in 7 innings. That a 5th inning single by Dusty Baker. And Dusty didn't get all of that. A little humpback liner into right field for a base hit. Ochenko, the drive to left field. Dusty Baker's waiting for it. And makes the one-handed catch. Rao, with not too many pitches, sets the Padres down in order, but at the end of 7, he's losing. Padres 1, Dodgers nothing.
In the 6th inning at Toronto, the Boston Red Sox leading Toronto by the score of 4-0. Wayne Gross's sacrifice fly capped a 7-run second inning, which carried the Oakland A's to an 8-7 victory over the Chicago White Sox in the first game of that doubleheader. And as we told you earlier, those two teams wound up splitting that doubleheader. Busty Staub hit a 1-1 pitch from Dick Drago over the right field fence with 2 out in the 11th inning to give Detroit an 8-7 victory over Baltimore in the first game of their doubleheader. Staub's 19th home run of the season dropped Drago's record to 6-4 and lifted Jim Crawford, the 7th Detroit pitcher, to a 7-5 mark. He retired all 3 batters he faced in the 11th inning. The Orioles, who had rallied with 2 outs in the 9th inning, came through to tie the score at 6-6 on a bases-loaded walk to Al Bumbry.
Pavlichenko and the Padres leading Doug around the Dodgers 1-0 at the end of 7 in a honey of a pitching duel in San Diego tonight. Meanwhile, in Houston, Tom Seaver hit a solo homer for the Reds in the 6th inning, his 2nd homer of the year. But that's all the Reds got. At the end of 5 1/2, it's Houston 2, Cincinnati 1. Mark Lemongello pitching that one for the Astros. Enos Cabell belted his 13th homer in the first inning with nobody on base. Dusty Baker, who has the Dodgers' only hit tonight, is looping single to right in the 5th inning. Will lead off in the 8th. In case you joined us a bit late, the Padres got their run in the 3rd inning. Gene Richards singled. When he stole second, Dodger catcher Steve Yeager claimed that the San Diego batter, Bill Allman, had interfered with it. The plate umpire Nick Colosi would not allow it. Baker holds off on a breaking ball inside, 1-0. Allman then proceeded to single Richards to 3rd. Rao picked Allman off base, but Garvey's throw was not handled by Lopes. Garvey drew the error, and Richards came home, and that's been the only run. Baker, a blooper back of first, going over to get it his tennis, and he's got it in foul territory. Almost running into the box seat. So Baker fouls out. 1 away in the 8th inning. Here's Glenn Burke. This ball game is less than an hour and a half old. We're already in the 8th inning, and Randy Jones isn't even pitching for the Padres. Glenn Burke takes high and away for a ball. Burke has bounced to second and flied to center. The Dodgers have had 2 base runners all night. Ron Say walked to lead off the second. Dusty Baker single with 1 out of the 5th. Burke, a fly ball left center field and fairly deep. Hendrick and Richards going back. Richards is there now in front of the warning track and makes the catch. He still had about 15 feet to go before he got to the wall, caught up with it in front of the warning track. And now 2 men away in the Dodger 8th inning. That's the longest ball of the night hit by the Dodgers, but all for naught. Here's Steve Yeager, who beat Pavlichenko with an 8th inning single here on July 16th, 1-0. The 8th inning tonight, the Dodgers are trailing Mr. Ochenko by the same 1-0 count. Yeager's been called out on strikes and bounced back to Ochenko. The pitch on the way, a breaking ball rolled out to 3rd. Ivy charges, fields, glove hand pickup, throw, wild throw. But Yeager's going to have to hold on at first. The ball gets off the railing, rolling back to the line. Finally, run down by the catcher, Roberts, who was backing it up. Champion, the second baseman, came over, but the ball ricocheted away from him. But Yeager had already gone past the first base bag and couldn't turn and head for second. Yeager will be credited with an infield single. Ball chopped up along third. Ivy had to come in about 30 feet for the ball, and off balance threw it wildly past Timmons. Yeager with a single, and so that will be it for Doug Rowell. Manny Mota will hit for Rowell. So the Dodgers get their second hit. A little chopper up along third. Now a pinch runner for Yeager. Rafael Landesdoy will run for Yeager. Landesdoy with a lot of speed. And he's a threat to go over at first base. He's from the Dominican Republic. So is the pinch hitter, Manny Mota. Manny hitting .393 this year. As a pinch hitter, he's 10 for 26. One night he made a start in Houston, and he got a base hit in that ball game. So Mota hitting for Rowell here in the eighth inning with the Dodgers trailing 1-0. Rafael Landesdoy leads the way at first. Ochenko stretches, and he'll go after Landesdoy, who steps back on the bag. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Dodgers. Landesdoy stole 58 bases at Albuquerque this summer. The pitch to the plate to Mota is taken high and away for ball. 1-0. Mota steps out, looks down to Preston Gomez for his sign. Landesdoy away. Ochenko goes to the stretch. The pitch to Mota. Outside corner, called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ochenko trying not to let history repeat itself. He pitched a brilliant game here in the middle of July and lost it in the eighth inning. Tonight he's going to try to stop the Dodgers in the eighth. The stretch, the throw to first base, and Landesdoy back again easily. 1 ball and 1 strike to Manny Mota. Now the stretch, again a throw to first, and Landesdoy reading the moves correctly back on the bag before the ball gets over to Gene Timmons. Manny Mota, the 116 career pinch hits, now second on the all-time list, tied with Jerry Lynch. Manny takes high for a ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. With 2 out here in the eighth, Yeager has gotten an infield single to third, and Landesdoy running for him now. Landesdoy, 24-year-old, leads away, increases his lead. The pitch to Mota. Low outside, snap go to first. Landesdoy got back barely. Frank Pulley waited to see if he came off the bag as Timmons slapped the ball on him, but Landesdoy's safe. Now Rafael calls time to brush himself off. He lost his cap coming back in on his stomach. Meanwhile, the count to Mota has gone to 3-1. With the bat control that Manny possesses, quite possible the Dodgers will play a little run and hit right here. Landesdoy away from the bag, and Ochenko goes after him again. Mota waiting at the plate. 2 out, 1-0 Padres. The stretch by Ochenko. Another throw to first base, and Landesdoy steps back. Mota waiting. Now the stretch by Ochenko. There's Landesdoy. Mota ground ball back toward the shortstop position. Allman on the run through, and he gets Mota. Good play by Allman. He's gone over to cover with Landesdoy running, and Manny almost got the ball through the vacated spot. But it was a hopper, and Allman had time to come back, get it, turn, and throw out Mota. No runs, one hit, one left. And at the end of 7 1/2, it's still the Padres 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
Bruce Bochy drove in 3 runs, and Andre Thornton tripled home another Monday to help the Cleveland Indians snap a 13-game losing streak to New York by defeating the Yankees 4-3 in the first game of a doubleheader. The loss snapped a 7-game Yankee winning streak and cut their American League East lead to 3.5 games over Boston. Dwayne Kuiper, who scored the winning run when the Indians last defeated the Yankees 3-2 on July 1st, led off the 7th with a single and gave the Tribe a 3-2 lead by scoring on Thornton's triple. Sparky Lyle replaced starter and loser Catfish Hunter 9-8, and Bochy followed with a single to score Thornton on what proved to be the deciding run. The Indians took a 1-0 lead in the first inning on singles by Paul Dade and Kuiper, and then Bochy's sacrifice fly, and then added another run in the third when Lavelle Blank's single. Thornton walked and Bochy lined his RBI single to right.
A big crowd of 25,343 at San Diego Stadium looking on tonight. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Padres 1, the Dodgers nothing, and the Dodgers with a new battery. Charlie Huff comes in to pitch, and Jerry Grody takes over behind the plate. For Charlie Huff, this is his 8th game of the year against San Diego. Charlie is 0-3 against the Padres with 3 saves. Huff 5-10 on the year against the league with an ERA of 3.57. Is appearing in his 59th game. Here in the bottom of the 8th, he'll face the top of the lineup for the Padres. Gene Richards, Billy Allman, and Mike Ivey. Meanwhile in Houston, the Astros leading the Reds 2-1 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So the Dodgers, who started the night 10.5 games ahead, have only one more turn, and if they can't do it here, they'll only have to hope that Mark Limoncello and the Astros can beat the Reds at the Astrodome. Charlie Huff has not seen much service lately. He last appeared in the game on the 30th of August, so it's been almost a week for Charlie. He missed a perfect inning of relief in that game against the Cubs. The only game the Dodgers lost in the recent homestand. Knuckleball is tied at Gene Richards for a ball, 1-0. Richards has singled in 3 at-bats. He stole his 41st base and then scored the only run of the game in the 3rd inning. Knuckleball in for a called strike to Richards. 1 ball and 1 strike. Doug Rao pitched a beautiful ball game tonight for 7 innings, but he went out losing 1-0. There's a high hopper to the right side. Garvey's got it. Huff over to cover the throw, and they just get Richards. He can fly down that line. 3-1 on the putout. 1 away in the 8th inning for the Padres, and that'll bring on shortstop Bill Allman. Allman figured, and maybe the key play in this ball game. He singled Richards to third base in the 3rd inning. Remember, the Dodgers protested. They thought that Allman interfered with Richards or with Yeager when he was trying to throw out Richards on the steal, but Lasorda and Yeager lost their argument with Nick Colosi. Then Allman singled Richards to third, but promptly was picked off first by Rao. He got into a rundown, and Garvey's throw sailed away from Lopes in the left field, and Richards scored the run. Ground ball in left field, a base hit for Allman. So Allman has been hurting the Dodgers all year long. Gets 2 more hits here tonight against them. He's 2 for 4. That's only the 5th hit for San Diego. Rao worked 7 tonight, allowed 1 run, 4 hits, struck out 4 and walked 1. And now Allman gets his 18th hit of the year against the Dodgers. He hit over 360 before this series against the Dodgers. Here's Mike Ivey. Ivey singled in the 1st inning. Since then he has struck out and bounced back to the pitcher. Up out of a stretch. There goes Allman. The pitch inside. The throw by Grody. A good throw, and they got him. Great throw by Jerry Grody. On a knuckleball, too. So you know what kind of a task he had ahead of him. And Grody cut down Billy Allman, who has stolen 19 bases this year. 2-4 on the putout. Wolf made the tag. So that's why they got Jerry Grody. for defensive purposes. And he just made a great throw. A ground ball is short. Russell's got it. And he throws to Garvey, and they get Ivy. No runs, one hit, nobody left. Last chance for the Dodgers at the end of the 8th. Padres 1, Dodgers nothing.
Rookie right-hander Don Osse fired a 3-hit shutout, and Jim Rice cracked a 3-run homer, his 35th of the season, to face the Boston Red Sox to an 8-0 victory over Toronto in the first game of a doubleheader. Osse, who's 4-1, struck out 4 and walked 2 while recording his second shutout of the season. Boston tagged starter and loser Jeff Bird for 2 runs in the second, while Carl Yastrzemski reached on an error. Then he stole second and scored on a triple by Carlton Fisk. Butch Hobson then singled Fisk home. Rice's home run came with 2 out in the 5th after Rick Burleson singled and Yastrzemski walked. Boston scored twice more in the 7th when reliever Jerry Johnson tossed consecutive walks to Yastrzemski and Rice, and then Fisk doubled, driving in both runners for his 3rd hit of the game. Hobson's 28th homer of the year in the 8th accounted for the final run of the game. So Boston taking the first game 8-0. The Red Sox lead the second game 4-0. That ball game is in the top of the 7th.
Left-hander Bob Ochinko, 3 outs away from pitching San Diego's 4th complete game of the year in 139 starts. Ochinko leading the Dodgers 1-0 on a 2-hitter. And in the 9th inning, you'll see Davey Lopes, Bill Russell, and Reggie Smith. The only one of the ball game. The Padres got it in the 3rd inning. It was unearned. A single, a stolen base, a single, and an error after a pickoff throw was successful by the Dodgers. And that has been it. And unless the Dodgers can rally, Doug Rao is going to go down to a hard-luck defeat. Davey Lopes is 0 for 3. Fly to left, fouled out to the catcher, and fly to center. Mike Ivy, thinking that Lopes may bunt, is already on the grass before Davey gets to the batter's box. Now Lopes stands in, and Ochinko ready to go. Ochinko has struck out 5. He's walked 1. The left-hander winds and delivers. A breaking ball for a called strike. Ron Say walked in the 2nd for the Dodgers. Dusty Baker singled in the 5th. Steve Yeager got an infield single in the 8th. And those have been the only Dodger runners of the game. The 1-strike pitch to Lopes. Check swing roller. Back toward the mound. Ochinko's got it and throws Lopes out. Davey tried to hold up, checked his swing, and the ball rolled out toward the second base position, but Ochinko got to it easily and threw out Lopes. 1 away in the 9th inning. In a ball game that is about an hour and 40 minutes old right now, and we're in the 9th inning. Fastest game of the year for the Dodgers in 9 innings was one at home against the Mets in May. Took an hour and 49 minutes. Here's Bill Russell, who is 0 for 3. Ochinko winds and delivers a fastball high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. In Houston, the Astros came up with 3 runs off Tom Seaver in the bottom of the 6th. The Reds didn't score in the 7th. 5-2. Houston. Russell takes high for a ball here in San Diego, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So the Dodgers are losing, but so are the Reds by 4 runs in the 7th inning. Houston now batting. Russell waiting, Reggie Smith on deck. The 2-0 pitch from Ochinko. It's foul upstairs, 2-1. Bob Ochinko, who suffered a shattering loss here to the Dodgers at midseason after pitching a perfect game for 7 1/3 innings. Trying to get the last 2 outs tonight and win another one 1-0. Russell fouls another one off to the right, back upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Dodgers shortstop. Don't forget tomorrow, a day game. The Dodgers and the Padres. Airtime 12:40, game time 1 o'clock. Rick Rhoden will try to win his 17th for the Dodgers, and he will be opposed by Randy Jones of San Diego. The 2-2 pitch by Ochinko. Curveball high. Russell checked. He swings. Pulley said he went around. Strike 3. So first base umpire Frank Pulley made the call for plate umpire Nick Pelosi. Russell is down on strikes, and the Dodgers are down to their last out. Six strikeouts for Ochinko. And Reggie Smith standing in his way. Reggie has not gotten the ball out of the infield tonight. 2 infield rounders and a strikeout. His 8-game hitting string also in jeopardy. Ochinko's breaking ball, high and away for a ball, 1-0. Reggie with one home run against the Padres this year. That was in Dodger Stadium. Remember, he's never hit one here in San Diego. He pops it up. This ought to be it in foul territory. The catcher and the third baseman, it's Ivy calling. He's got it. The Padres win. Bravo Cinco turns in a marvelous two-hit shutout for San Diego. The Dodgers are shut out. Doug Rao loses a toughie, and we'll be back with the totals and a recap in a moment.
So, fine pitching job by Oshinko as the San Diego Padres, a team right now trailing Los Angeles by 22 games, picking up one after beating the front-running Los Angeles Dodgers. Los Angeles now 83 wins and 54 losses. San Diego 62 wins and 77 losses. The Cincinnati Reds are losing to the Houston Astros 2-0. That ball game is in the third inning and is being played at Houston. Tom Seaver pitching for Cincinnati. Mark Lomangello starting for Houston. Enos Cabell hit a home run for Houston with none on in the first inning, his 13th home run of the season. So if that holds, the Dodgers will not lose anything to Cincinnati in the National League West race. Elsewhere, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia split a doubleheader, and we'll get back to the scoreboard in a moment, but right now let's get back to the wrap-up.
For the seventh time this year, the Los Angeles Dodgers have been shut out, and left-hander Bob Oshinko tonight did it brilliantly. A two-hit blanking of the Dodgers, the quickest nine-inning game of the year for the Dodgers. It only took Oshinko and Doug Rao 1 hour and 44 minutes to stage this one, and the Padres won it with an unearned run in the third inning. San Diego had 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. The Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors. Bob Oshinko all the way to win it, his second shutout of the year, and he has both complete game shutouts for the Padres among the 5 that they have overall this year. Oshinko becomes only the 4th Padre pitcher, well, actually 3 because he's done it twice, but 4 times in 139 games this year, the Padres have had a complete game, and Oshinko turned one in here tonight. Oshinko now 8-9 this year against the National League. He is 1-1 this season against the Dodgers, 1-2 lifetime. Doug Rao suffers a disheartening defeat. Doug is 13-6 this year. It's his first loss after 3 wins this summer against San Diego, and Doug is now 8-4 lifetime against the Padres. 25,343 saw it, and the Padres beat the Dodgers 1-0.